I present you today John A. Nevin. He passed away recently at September 2018. He's dedicated his professional life to studying and developing behavioral momentum theory. Let's take a closer look to what he has contributed to applied behavior analysis. John A. Nevin, he graduated from Yale University with a degree in mechanical and marine engineering. He got his PhD from Columbia University in psychophysics. His early career served in the U.S. Coast Guard. His research. He collaborated and worked alongside a plethora of other researchers, including Skinner. He used pigeons in his research and occasionally worked with humans. He's been a constant contributor to behavior analysis. His research is used in clinical settings when treating behavioral problems. Behavioral momentum theory is based on the physical momentum and the resistance to change when the rate of reinforcement is high. Let's take a closer look. For instance, ice cream. It's definitely one of my reinforcers. I love ice cream. When I pass Dunkin' Donuts, it's hard for me to turn around sometimes and not go in. I am constantly on a physical momentum of eating ice cream. But why can't I change? Because every time I eat it, my reinforcer is very high. Let's take a closer look. The theory assists with learning and understanding why learned behavior is challenging to change, and why humans are so persistent with specific actions even when they have a negative consequence. Such as junk food. Why do we continue to eat junk food when we know it has some very health concerning issues? It also, tips the scale sometimes. But why? Why do we do these things? Let's take a closer look. It's similar to the concept of Newton's second law of motion. When you add velocity to mass to a moving object, is the same comparison to behavioral momentum theory, with the rate of response and resistance to change. Let's take a closer look. Once a learned behavior is in motion, it keeps going, even if the behavior is being disruptive in the subject's environment. For instance, you have a moving car going down the hill. It equals trying to change behavior with a child who's being disruptive. They are used to doing it. They have the momentum. It's going to be hard for it to change, even when you're disrupting it in their environment. The behavior continues like the car. It keeps going. Let's check a little bit of time to research experiments. Use penguins to peck keys for their response. So today when we talk about it, we're going to be talking about keys. You'll see red keys and blue keys. And that's where we're going to find out a little bit more about behavioral momentum theory. But why pigeons? They're inexpensive, simple process to train. The laboratories are similar, and they functionally behave as humans. The research discovered depriving pigeons of food is an effective reinforcer. The data confirmed and backed up the research theory. The number of behavior also matched the number of reinforcers. So when the pigeon would peck the red key, it would equal food, which was the reinforcer. Quantitative methods were constantly used in his research. Let's find out a little bit more what that is. It's a basic research method using numbers in generalizing a phenomenon. They were commonly used quantitative methods while researching key pecking amongst pigeons to conclude that reinforcement rate was high compared to when it was low. The free operant behavior was more resistant to change. So as soon as the pigeon would peck the red key, the food would come out as a reinforcer. But as soon as it didn't, resistance was ahead. And then they learned to pick the blue key. The data that has been collected. To decrease undesirable behavior, you will have to change and disrupt responding. For instance, the pigeon pecks the key up. Now this time nothing has happened. The pigeon pecks the red key again. But nothing happened. Grrr. Now the pigeon knows to pick the blue key, and then they will get a response as their reinforcer food. Let's find out a little bit more about multiple schedules and how that influenced everything. You can tell over here on the left-hand side with the 3 dots, this was on a schedule. Peck 3 times, get a reinforcer. Peck once, get a reinforcer. Peck twice, get a reinforcer. But then, if you hit the blue key, 1 time you get a reinforcer. 1 time you get a reinforcer, and the next time you get a reinforcer. Let's find out a little bit more. Alternative reinforcement can result in counterintuitive and counterproductive effects. The resistance to change increases during the presence of discriminative stimulus, even when the resistance are available or not available after demonstration of the target. For instance, if you were going back and forth, you can see these kids going back and forth, almost playing the pushing mercy game. You're pushing back and forth, and all of a sudden, the more someone is resisting, the more you become more resisting too. And it keeps going back and forth. The same thing when you are with trying to change someone's behavior. They're going to be resistant, back and forth, just like this photo I have. Try it sometimes. You'll find it fascinating. Let's take a closer look to persistence of problematic and adaptive behavior. Receiving reinforcements with a discriminative stimulus context produces a quantitative account. Well, what does that mean? When you observe and measure or unmeasure operant behavior is attending a cognitive process. So the resistance to change depends on the stimuli and reinforcers. Let's take a look. I'm hungry. The vending machine at work always looks so good. I press the button that I would normally press, 1, 2, but nothing comes out. And now all of a sudden I become extremely angry. I was used to it, now I'm not getting anything out. Behavior analysis contributor that John Nevin has for assisting with practitioners, professionals, and students. What he is he implements intervention plans in their efforts to reduce or eliminate undesirable and problematic behavior, while being challenged with the resistance to change amongst their clients. To understand the details of behavioral momentum theory and inspiring others to continue to explore different interpretations and unresolved research questions in the world of behavior analysis. One biggest thing is use the data to guide the analysis. And here are the reference used for today's presentation. Thank you.